The king of the KO is back in Monster Hunter Generations, and thanks to Adept Style, it has some new tricks up its sleeve. Welcome to my tutorial on the hammer. The hammer by design is meant to be a simplistic weapon, but thanks to its simplicity, it becomes a very deeply nuanced weapon. It's easy to use but takes a lifetime to master. So when you're wielding a hammer, you really don't see a monster jumping around in front of you. What you're supposed to see is a head that's just moving all around. The body parts of the monster are simply obstacles that can hit you or get in the way of your target. Similar to the greatsword, the hammer is a hit and run weapon. You'll hold R to charge up your hammer, and when you see an opening, you'll run in, release R, and smack that monster's head. When the monster is down or KO'd, you'll pound it in. It's simple, it's challenging, and most importantly, it's fun. Guild Style. Since all the other styles derive from Guild Style, we'll take a look at that one first. A quick note about motion values. When I show each move, I'm going to show on the bottom right hand side all the motion values for each move. However, there's going to be 3 different values. The first one is the motion value of the damage, the second one is the stun damage, and the third one is exhaust. In the description below, I have a link to my stun and exhaust tutorial, so please check them out and realize that this also is a feature of the weapon. Your draw attack is a nice upward chuck. I say chuck because it'll send your teammates flying into the air if you hit them with it. The X button idle is kind of your bread and butter pound. It's just a nice solid pound. You can press X again to follow up with a weaker second pound. Note that you can transition to a charge from the second hit but not the first. Press X one more time to finish the 3-hit combo with what we call the home run. This attack has very high stun damage. Note that it's kind of a right curve, so if you stand at an angle in front of the monster's head, you can smack it nice and dead on. You can also transition to a charge from it by holding R. Finally, you can press A to do a quick side smack. It's a fast, it has good stun value, and you can go into the charge from it as well. You can act as a substitute for the first hammer pound in the 3-hit combo. So you may be asking yourself, why would you do AXX instead of XXX? The super armor that you get from the side smack will continue all the way through the second pound, which does not have super armor. Which means that all throughout the entire 3-hit combo, you're not going to get knocked out of it by something small and stupid. And while the XXX attack is more powerful, the super armor on that first pound will wear off before it gets through the second hit, meaning that you can find yourself getting knocked out of it. Okay, now let's take a look at the charge mechanic, as that is really the core of this weapon. Simply hold R to start charging your hammer. You can also do R plus X plus A if you want to draw into a charge. Unlike greatsword, you can move around while you're charging your weapon, but your stamina will slowly deplete, so make sure you keep an eye on it. You can also evade out of the charge, which is really important to keep in mind, because if you get too greedy with this weapon, you'll end up either running out of stamina completely, or just missing all the time. Let's take a look at all the different ones that you can do. The level 1 charge, which is basically you tap R and you let go and you didn't charge it up at all, is just a nice simple smack. You can press X after it to go into the upward chuck. Then you can do the XXX combo from there. The level 1 attack is a good way to go from a home run after a triple X combo right into another X combo, sort of like a link between them. The level 2 charge is a wonderful running uppercut. It has high stun and it reaches pretty high, which is really great for a monster that holds its head a little bit higher off the ground. The uppercut will send your teammates flying, but it is pretty narrow, so as long as you're not being reckless, you probably won't be hitting people into the air accidentally. Finally, the level 3 charge has 2 variations depending on if you're moving or if you're idle. If you're idle, you'll do the super stomp. Now while the level 2 attack is all about high stun, the level 3 charge is about exhaust damage. This move will send your teammates rolling, so make sure if you use this online that you're really careful. If you're moving though, you can release the R button and your level 3 will become a super spin. You'll do a total of 6 spins. Press X during the first 1 to 3 hits to do a left hook. You can go into the X combo from here as well. If you can wait until the 4th to 6th hit, press X during that to do a full swing. This is a much powerful finisher move. Do note though that if you go all the way through the 6th spin and you overspin, you'll do a weaker finisher, which is bad because you can't evade after you do this move. When you jump off a ledge, just press X and you'll do a jump attack. Now note, because the hammer is a very heavy weapon, all of the jump attacks are actually pretty strong for this weapon. Also note that you can walk up and down ledges while you're charging, which is pretty cool. Okay, now we've seen the regular jump attack, but what happens if you jump off a ledge when you're charging your hammer? Well, there's actually different type of jump attacks that you can do for each charge level. The level 1 is almost impossible to pull off because you're literally just going to tap X, jump off a ledge at that second and then attack, which is almost impossible. It's just a normal pound that's more powerful than the regular jump attack. The level 2 charge jump attack is another pound, but it can be followed up with a stationary uppercut. And finally, the level 3 jump attack is a powerful pound that goes right into the full swing just by pressing X. Now the armor skill called Focus does make the hammer charge faster, which is fine if you're playing solo or you're using that level 3 charge a lot, but it also makes that run-in uppercut really hard to use because it charges past it so fast. So I don't personally use it, but it's really up to your playstyle. Okay, now let's take a look at Striker Style. The Striker Style comes with 2 major changes. The first one is you lose the final finisher of the level 3 spinning attack and you just do a left hook, no big deal. But the next one is, for your normal 3-hit combo, you do not end in a home run, you just do 3 normal stomps now. It's kinda anticlimactic. This style is all about exhaust and creating opportunities though. The Striker Style charge speed by natural default is 1.5 times faster than all the other styles, making it super easy to access that Super Slam, which itself is a little bit more powerful than the other styles as well. The level 3 Super Slam is about 8% more powerful than the other styles. It's not a huge difference, but it does help. Aerial Style. The Aerial Style is all about KO and all about mounting. The ground level 3 charge changes and becomes a stronger version of the level 2 run-in uppercut, which is pretty darn awesome. The aerial attacks are kinda hard to hit, so they're only meant to be done when you have a really big opening or if you're going for a mount, which is a little bit different than the other styles. Press B to do your aerial vault, and again, if you touch something like a monster, another hunter, or even a bomb, you'll jump off of it through an aerial vault. From there, you can press R to go into a charge, you can press X to do just a regular aerial smack, and if you feel you have your position down, you can press A in the air, and what this does is a delayed combo. If you connect with this hit with the A button, you'll follow it up with a second strike in the air, which is pretty awesome to look at. The first hit is pretty powerful and the second hit is even more powerful. From the ground you can evade right afterwards, making this a pretty sweet move to go for if you know the monster isn't moving. Next up, the Adept Style. Now here is a style that works really well with the hammer by default because you're normally running away and looking for an opening anyways. If you do an Adept Evade and then hold R, you'll go into the new thing called the Strong Charge. This is a new mode for the hammer and all the charge attacks that it can do are brand new. What makes this style really great is that it really doesn't matter if you're evading towards a monster, away from a monster, or anything, because you don't do that little roadie run that most of the Blade Master weapons do after you do the evade. The level 1 supercharge is just a nice basic smack. The level 2 is a massive uppercut. And the level 3 has 2 versions. As idle, it's a mega slam. And if you're moving and you release it for level 3, you'll do a wind-up slam, which is actually a little bit weaker than the idle. So I think by design you're supposed to be going for the idle level 3, not the moving one. And as if that weren't enough, you also get new jump attacks for all of the new supercharges. Here's the level 1. Here is the level 2. And finally, here is the level 3. For Adept, it's all about KO. All of these new charge moves have really high KO values, and it's just really fun to use. Now for a downside for the style, your level 1 charge you can no longer combo off of, and your level 2 is now a stronger combo smack, but you lose the uppercut. Kinda sucks because I love that uppercut, but you know what? The strong charge moves are totally worth it. Okay, before we go over and compare each style, let's take a look at all the different hunter arts. The Spinning Meteor. Now, contrary to what it looks like, this is not an attack that is meant to be like instant KOing monsters. This is actually about raw damage. The spins themselves are pretty weak, but the final hit is really powerful, so it's 5 spins followed by a massive powerful hit. It's great that the monster is trapped or exhausted. The art itself doesn't charge up very fast, so you have to make sure you make it count. The Super Taunt. When you do the Super Taunt, you'll do a small hit, but hit or miss you get the same effect. For the next 60 seconds, the monster will be all over you, and I mean like all over you. The Super Taunt works really fast and really well, so it's awesome for online if you want to lure the monster into a trap. The Typhoon Trigger. Out of the 1 to 7 hits, they're actually doing almost no power. They're actually really weak, so don't think that that's the main point. It's really about the finisher. The stun damages on this move are ridiculous, and again, it charges up really fast, so this is one that you definitely want to get used to using. Final thoughts. So all the styles for Hammer are really good. I really can't help but feel though with Striker style that it's more for solo play due to the focus on the super slam and exhausting monsters. However, the lack of the home run at the end of the 3-hit combo really just makes it not that satisfying for me to use, so I would choose Guild over style on that alone. Aerial requires a great understanding of when to go for the aerial hit, but as the hammer itself you don't evade around a lot to begin with, again you can really play this style without changing up your mentality all that much. I love the fact that the level 3 charge is now a stronger uppercut, as that was my favorite attack for the hammer. The Adept Style of course is absolutely amazing, you have to try it out. Not having to worry about what direction you do the evade and getting free evasion plus for hammer is really big. Plus all the new moves are really powerful and really fun. The hammer was kinda knocked out of the scene in Monster Hunter 4U thanks to the charge blade and its overpowered stun values, but now that that's been fixed and the hammer has some new tricks, it's definitely a viable weapon. It's also worth noting that all the new effects that they've added in this game really gives the weapon a great sense of weight, and it's just really satisfying to use. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, happy hunting.